Oh, you guys have seen this shape everywhere, haven't you? Haven't you? In the sky? You've seen this shape. Well, I'm not the only one who came up with this shape. In fact, I don't think this shape to begin with was ours at all. But you know who has been hiding this shape because they want to make trillions of dollars off of your taxes? Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman, Skunk Works, Lockheed, I said Raytheon. Who else is there? Oh, NASA, we can bet your boots that if we find something, we'll let you know. Yeah, where are your boots? You know, did you knock the heels of your boots together and say, take me home, take me home? E.T., we have the technology to take E.T. home. Yeah. Oh, I'm hoping that Hannah Polina Luna will shed a lot of information that's going to be helpful to us, because if not, we're going to be in big trouble. Why holes? Why holes? Because I was testing this thing out. So I put them like this, and it makes a really good drift car. But before I did that, I was trying to see if this thing would actually fly. But unfortunately, this is too heavy for the motors to lift. And that's another one of the issues that we're having in the modern world is, what is the propulsion system? Because hobbyists, as good as they are limited. You can't make a machine that looks this cool, right? Twinkle, twinkle, little star, like a diamond in the sky and all that stuff. The Star of Bethlehem that stays in the air for 12 plus hours with our current technology. But nobody wants to talk about that. Nobody at all. Oh, the legacy media is so dead. They're so dead. They're so dead and useless. But the trick, as I said before, is the trick to all of this is free energy that they don't want to give us. Anyway, Dr. Stephen Greer, although they keep throwing shade on Dr. Stephen Greer, has been telling the same story. He's been telling the same story for how many years now? While we're coughing off our lungs in California, and we've had the Palisades fires, and we're in the most progressive place in the world, and we still don't have clean air, clean soil, and clean water, they want to throw shade at Dr. Stephen Greer, which is saying, maybe let's not go against the unknown, guns a-blazing. It's sad. It's sad. As I said before in the previous video, the one thing you can count on is the psychopaths, the control freaks, to want to own everything, right? The half moon concept, the egg, all the shapes that were blocked by our government, redacted, if you will. You can't make a plane like this. Why not? Because it's redacted. Because, as they always say, you can't handle the truth. You know who can't handle the truth? The people holding all the strings, all the power strings, the string theory. The people holding all the string, right, the string theory, that has nothing to do with Michio Kaku. It has everything to do with the people who are controlling all of us, the people who hold all the power all the time. They know how God works. They know how technology works. They know everything. But the peons aren't allowed to know, and so they use all these systems. This information, the CIA, the FBI, the three-letter agencies, the black projects, and all that stuff to keep us dazed and confused, if you will. And so we can never get any further than where we are. You live, you die, you come back. You live, you die, you come back. There was a time when you could live, die, and go to heaven. Live, die, and come back. Because there is and never was a hell, that's just perspective. Because what is hell to you may be heaven to someone else. there are psychotic people who love hurting themselves. And their version of heaven is going to a place where they can get hurt repeatedly because that's what they enjoy. So people who are misinformed astral project, do a bunch of things, and they end up in somebody else's heaven. To them, that's heaven. That's what they enjoy. So they created their own, or basically the NHI or whatever machine that exists, which is heaven, catered a heaven for them. And in that heaven, maybe there's people torturing other people. Maybe there's people like playing, like a video game. How many people love to get into a video game like, I don't know, like World of Warcraft or, I don't know, Call of Duty, and all the game is about is killing things? Well, imagine if you've got the technology to make that permanent and make that your heaven. So people who are misinformed, who live on this plane of existence, end up in somebody else's hell. But that's not hell to them. They're enjoying that environment over there. They think that's their hell, but no, that's their heaven. Because there's only two things. There's heaven and there's reincarnation. If you can't be good enough here, you keep coming back here. If you're good enough to escape, you go to the heaven machine and you create your own reality where you keep getting whatever you want. And again, if you're one of those psychotic people, because the trick is only, right, that's why they created the religions. Only the people who do a certain thing get to go to heaven. That's not how it actually works. Some psychotic people who do no harm here and follow the specific rules can still go to heaven, but their version of heaven is going to be something completely different from your version of heaven. So you may end up in that heaven, which is heaven to them, but is not heaven for you. And you're like, oh my God, that's such a dystopia. But the person who lives in that reality, in the catered, their own version of heaven to them, they're having a great time over there. They're the king of the hill in that reality, that heaven that belongs to them. So anyway, that is the problem that we live with on planet Earth, is there's so much, whether you're being told the wrong things from religion, or you're being told the wrong things from this, that, and the other. The 69 laws, those are the ones you should always adhere to, because those are the rules. Like, you know how everybody complains about YouTube not understanding what the rules are? And when Eli, the computer guy, calls in and goes, could you just tell me what I'm supposed to do to be successful on this platform? And they go, Eli, we've got lawyers. It's the same thing. It's the same thing in everything else, right? We've got lawyers. So nobody tells you what the truth is, and nothing is permanent. The present, the past, and the future are all connected. Everything is changeable. Even your Bible can be changed. If the wrong people get into power, or the wrong people want to, they can change and edit the Bible. You may have memorized the Bible, and tomorrow they can make it different. They can change what's in there. And you're like, wait a second. I read this yesterday and I had this all memorized, and now it's different. Because they have the power to do that. So you can either understand what real reality is, or you can continue to be a peon in the system and never make it out of this trap. Because, again, if only 0.0000000000000000000% 1% get out, it's still a prison. It's still a prison planet. Let's do a prayer. I love you if you're tall. I love you if you're small or in between. I love you if you live on the surface of the earth, or below, or in the deepest oceans, or above the earth, or in our skies, or way, way, way beyond. I still love you. The most important thing you'll ever learn is, what if God gave you all of his power and even a little bit more? What would you do? Now, if your answer is, I would take over God's position, you're dead.